Certified audio legend.
What they do? Beach Boy Mulla, Mulla. I am certified. I was born in San Diego, California. You know, grew up Skyline, mostly in Canto, mostly. You know, went to Helix. Resided there for a little bit. Reggie Buss was going there. Marty McFly was going there, you know. So it was like an influential thing at the time to go there for football, you know, big football program and whatnot. You know, and that's kind of where I got my MC going, you know what I mean? Being known for myself and putting out my own projects and freestyling and whatnot. Freestyle battles against almost anybody that rapped at the school or anybody that wanted to come up to the school, you know. And that's pretty much how I got started into hip-hop. My first rap name? Shit, it was something like Trey something, I forgot. It was funny, I forgot, it was like TLC or TL something. Trey, I forgot, but yeah. Then I switched it up. You know, I've been trying to rap since I was like 9, you know what I mean? So, this thing, like, I switched it up, went to Silly Mackin', and that was for other reasons, you know what I mean? I don't really like to glorify it, but, you know, I was in the streets doing what I was doing by Silly Mackin', you know what I mean? Hitting licks and, you know, all the shit. Anything you could think of, I was probably doing it. And that's pretty much my first name that I actually got out in the streets, you know what I mean? As far as an icon, as people knowing me when I go out, you know what I mean? If I'm on the trolley, because back in the days I wasn't riding around, you know, I was on the trolley every day going back and forth from Helix to Encanto, and that was pretty much, you know, my inspiration of life right there, because so much happened within those 2 hours, you know what I mean, going from school to the house, you know what I mean? You see so much, and just like you know, you don't prepare yourself for it, you're not warned about it. You know what I mean? And pretty much you're getting used to it. You think that it's normal. You know what I mean? But it's really not. So, pretty much. Alright, my first experience with music. Shit, as far as with music, as far as me, I went to like Southeast Presbyterian Church with my grandmother and whatnot. She put us in choir, me and my cousins. Pretty much was singing, and one day the lead singer was absent from the choir practice, and I had kind of took roles to it, and I had went up to the microphone, did my thing on the mic, sung or whatever, and that kind of like turned me on to like having an audience and having people glorify you for something that you've done. You know what I mean? That nobody actually told you to go do or something, you know what I mean? You just did it for yourself. And that's how I kind of got a nudge for it. So then, I was just messing around with my homeboys. He said, you want to record a song? It was like around the time Heavy Hitting came out with their songs, and I thought this was how they was recording their songs. So we go over to his house, and he got like this little headphone, with the headphone on with the little speaker thing. We was rapping into that. You know what I mean? And like, that was my first time seeing like a studio set up to the computer type shit, you feel me? So once I seen that, I was like, oh, I could do that in my house. I got microphones, you know what I mean? I had microphones for karaoke and shit. I always was into that shit, you know what I mean? So went to the house, plugged some shit up. Before you knew it, I had a computer with, I think it was, Acid Pro 1. First came out, you know, and I pretty much taught myself how to record, taught myself how to work it, you know what I mean? Gradually went to other programs. Never really fucked with Fruity Loops till a little later, you know, probably like 2006 I was recording with Pro Tools, you know what I mean? With Maceo and them going to their studio or whatnot. We was recording with them. They had the big old layout or whatnot. So after that, I went to my house, I got the Pro Tools, I got the Blue mic, got everything that pretty much I seen in the studio. You know what I mean? And I started my own productions and started mixing and mastering my own shit. Everything that you hear, I mixed, I mastered. Select songs, I believe, I probably got from Beat Shop, probably main Juicer edited for me, but yeah, I taught myself how to do everything, like from the standpoint of, you know what I mean, mixing, mastering. Went to school for a little bit, went to Maca over in Rancho, San Diego. So for the most part, that's where I got my music background from. Yeah, man, my biggest influence, I would say, was this kid, Nathaniel Johnson. Rest in peace. He was killed at 17 years old, you know. And from my standpoint, the reason why I looked up to him was because everything that he did was 100%. You know, it wasn't half-assed, you know what I mean? He put his all into it. He was an emotional guy, you know what I mean? He was always high energy. You know what I mean? From what I learned from him throughout my whole life has been a positive influence, you know what I mean? I want to recognize him because he was only 17 when he lost his life, and I'm 26 now. That was probably 10 years ago, you know? I was like 16 at the time, you know, 10th grade. And I was like, not only somebody I looked up to, but my best friend, you know what I mean? He was the best friend to everybody in the community almost. If you grew up in Canto Rec, you know what I mean? You guys know who Lil Sleep is. His name rings bells throughout the city still, 10 years later. You know what I mean? And that's one of the dudes I look up to. That I would like to work with? Yeah, man. There's this dude, Coach. That dude hot, you know, this dude Butcher Bankton. This dude Murky B. Shit, who else? That's really about it, you know what I mean? Other than that, I don't really, you know what I mean, look up to anybody outside of the town. And it's not that I don't see people doing things, because I've pretty much recorded with everybody that's had a hot name in San Diego, from Karma to shit, who you want to say? D Vicious, T Keeson, name somebody, and I pretty much recorded with them, you know what I mean? So it's not a task for me to get out and record and, you know what I mean, be on this person's track, this person's track, this person's track. Because I've learned that everybody don't feel the same way about a track that you may feel, you know what I mean? Like, you might glorify a collaboration with this guy, you know what I mean? And this guy might be thinking like, all right, if you're paying him, for one, he's probably thinking like it's a quick dollar, you know what I mean? Or two, he probably got a San Diego ego, you know? And it's something that holds us back as San Diego musicians. It's the San Diego ego that we got. So that's why I pretty much got my select few. And anybody else that I collab with is because it was real. It wasn't based off of, you know, oh, I'm trying to meet up with him and da-da-da-da. It was, hey, I'm doing some music, wanna slide through? Yeah, I ain't doing nothing right now, I'ma slide through. We end up doing some music, damn, that song ended up in Germany. You know what I mean? It's happened before. And that's how I like to do my music. It's based off feelings, because if you got somebody in your laboratory where you're working that's just there for the money and not there because he genuinely loves music, you're not getting 100% that you need from him, you know what I mean? And that's why I only got my few, you feel me? Pretty much. I try to think of myself as an entrepreneur, you know what I mean? Music is my heart, you know what I mean? But at the same time, my soul and body commits to my family, you know what I mean? And from that standpoint, I gotta be the boss, I gotta be the employee, I gotta be everything, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if nobody gets it done, whose fault is it? It's not their fault, it's my fault. Because I knew the task that was at hand, and you know, I gotta handle that. And that's why I feel like I don't like putting titles to things, you know? I like to think of myself as being open to whatever. because you don't never know what you'll blow up for. You never know what people really like you for until they start to like it and so show your interest, you know what I mean? And it's been so many fields to where people show interest into my videos, into me doing graphics, into me doing music, to me writing for people, you know? So I just try to keep it open-minded. Generally, I'm a solo artist. You know, Marky B is the closest duo that I have to an artist. You know what I mean? As far as artistry that I've actually worked with, second to that would be Buther Banthan. Me and Buther Banthan, we've got work together, a whole mixtape, and last but not least, Coach. Me and Coach got a whole thing, you know what I mean, going on. And in that sense, I'm probably like duoed up. We like to duo up, double team our missions, our goals, you know what I mean? So in that sense, I'm not a solo artist, but when it comes to me in the zone, with me and my music, and how I like to conduct my business as far as me going into a studio, I am most likely alone, I am most likely solo, but that doesn't mean it's a solo project, you know what I mean? And that's pretty much wrapping it up. Like, I'm not necessarily a group, but I'm not necessarily a solo artist as well. Beach Boys, B34CH, B-O-I-Z. And the reason why we call it Beach Boys is because everywhere in America doesn't have a beach, you know? Not select few get to glorify the beach state or whatever, you know what I mean? Miami, you know, us, California. So we're Beach Boys, you know? A lot of people don't understand it, but if you came from the West Coast, if you came from San Diego, LA, the Bay, San Francisco, you're a beach boy. You grew up right next to the beach your whole life. Or maybe you traveled or whatever, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? We're beach boys. That's why we got it like that, you know what I mean? That's why we like Beach Boys. And it's also because at the time, when I made Beach Boys, a lot of influences were going on around me as far as like people coming from overseas, you know what I mean? Overseas, and they had shit that we shouldn't have, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, Beach Boys, you know what I mean? Like, it's a mission, you know what I mean? It's a mission statement, just its name itself, you know what I mean? Because we came from the beach, but we're trying to go elsewhere. So if you got Beach Boys in Kentucky, or if you got a Beach Boy in Atlanta, or you got a Beach Boy in South Carolina, North Carolina, you know what I mean? They get the picture, you know what I mean? It's not just like it's one dimension, you know what I mean? One-sided thing. It's like a projection, you know what I mean? Almost, you know what I mean? As soon as you hear beach, you think West Coast, you know what I mean? Man, currently, I feel like it's like a lottery ticket right now with the music, you know what I mean? It's like so many names is in that hat, you know what I mean? It just, and the money's just gonna get picked, boom. You know what I mean? And I feel like everybody got potential to get picked. You can't never knock nobody, you know what I mean? Like, I seen a saying that said, like, you know what I mean? Never make fun of a peasant, because that peasant could one day be your king. So, me, Maceo, and this nigga in Black Jazz got together, you know what I mean? Maceo was an artist at the time, booming, supposed to be on BET and everything else, you know what I mean? Maceo was illiterate, he couldn't write, you know what I mean? He couldn't read, he couldn't do anything, you know what I mean? We had to write it for him, we had to rewrite it ourselves, you know what I mean? It's a sad thing, but it was what it was, you know what I mean? So we got together on the quick slip, you know what I mean? My boy Black Jess, he was gonna get signed as an artist, you know what I mean? We was both gonna be independent, but I wasn't gonna be an artist, I was gonna be a writer. You know what I mean? That was my only deal. So, long story short, one day we got these songs, me and Black Jess, we've been working up. G Fresh, if you look up his name, he was signed to Grand Hustle. He was signed with T.I., he's made beats for Young Dro, everybody you can think of, you know what I mean? G Fresh made us 3 beats, you know what I mean? And with those 3 beats, we went to the Atlanta SWAT. What that is, it's like 5 days out the week, you know what I mean? These dudes, they got like 5 clubs they have, you know what I mean? The first night, you know what I mean, it's probably like 20 artists. The second night, it's like 15 artists. The third night, it's like 10 artists. Fourth night, it's like 3. Last night, you know what I mean? B.O.B. That's how he got on. You know what I mean? That's what I was competing against. Haters everywhere we go. You know what I mean? He climbed up, and I was probably like on my third night, maybe my third night going home next week. Third night going home. You know what I mean? He made it there first try. And that's just like, well, I feel like I'm different because we had the opportunity at hand, you know what I mean, to exploit it and go our way with the whole shit, you know what I mean? But due to reasons of our own beings, we had to come back to San Diego. Now, if I was in Atlanta, things would be a lot different. You know what I mean? I know a lot more people, I know a lot more connections. But San Diego is starting to have a music scene here, and that's the only reason why I almost stayed around, you know? But I am about to do a movie. So what generally makes me different is that I know what it takes, you know what I mean? I have an eye for it. I've seen it already. I've seen these guys with this deal already, and I've seen them fuck it off. You know what I mean? I've seen the things that you don't do when you talk to labels. You know, I've seen dudes get off the phone with the label like, dude, I just messed up. I should have never came at him like that. I should have been more professional. I should have been more this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like I'm different, because I got a different approach. You know what I mean? I'm not just savvy-minded, I'm business-minded. You know what I mean? Upcoming projects, really there is no name for them right now. I mean, I got Call Me What You Want. That's a 10-track. No Bitch Assness. That's like 17 tracks. What else? Yeah, that's already dropped. I don't give a fuck, to already dropped. I got probably about 8 mixtapes already out. So I got a few mixtapes I'm just sitting on, you know, just ready to drop. But the main two to look out for is No Bitch Assness. The reason why is because it's real, you know, and that's the reason why I called it No Bitch Assness, because it's no gimmick, you know what I mean? It's not anything that's gonna be like, make you wanna go out, make you wanna go party, make you wanna go spend money. It's not gonna make you wanna do that, it's gonna make you wanna grind, it's gonna make you wanna save, it's gonna make you think about your kids. You know what I mean? And that's my message. And that's why I feel like No Bitch Assness was the perfect title for it, because, you know what I mean, there's a lot of bitch ass shit that we just don't address, like teaching kids how to do things the wrong way. You know what I mean? And that's not something that the Beach Boys conduct. And then Call Me What You Want is the same reason why I named all those names in the beginning. Because I got so many names that everybody know me by. You can call me what you want. But either way, it's still gonna be Mulla. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much those mixtapes that I'm sitting on. Shit, just Google me, really. I say Google, I tell everybody, just Google Mac Mulla, Mulla Moo, Beach Boy Mulla, whichever one appeals to you. Mulla, I mean, it's gonna pop up. You click a link, you can get to my Twitter, click a link, you can get to my Facebook, my old MySpace, you can get SoundCloud, YouTube, just Google me, you know what I mean? That's pretty much it. I mean, bro, it was the Reggie. It was Reggie, bro. I promise you. Like, if you want to know the awesomest experience I ever had with weed, it wasn't no Perfect Strand. It was some fucking Reggie I got from fucking Parkway, man. My first time smoking. This dude fucking told me, like, oh yeah, you want to get some weed? I'm like, hell yeah, just give me. You gonna give me some weed? Yeah, for sure. So we went to a little corner or whatever. He's like, yeah, $5. I gotta give you $5. You just not ask me if I wanted some weed, you know what I mean? So he's like, oh no, you gotta pay for it. So I paid for it, you know what I mean? I took it home, I didn't tell nobody I had it, because I wasn't smoking then, you know what I mean? Like, everybody was smoking Black and Milds and smoking cigarettes and smoking weed around me, you know what I mean? And that's when I started transitioning with the bad kids or whatever. And I took it home or whatever to my mom's house, and she had like these towels on these squares or whatever, and I like broke it down. I was just playing with it and shit. I didn't know what to do with it. So I figured I was just gonna light it up. You know what I mean? I just figured, fuck it. I'm gonna go get some paper. rolled it up how everybody else rolled anything up, smoked it, and it was like, you know what I mean? I was like, nigga, this shit right here is alright. You know what I mean? Like, that was it. It didn't have to be no drill. I started smoking when Reggie was like the thing, you know what I mean? And everybody started buying Reggie. I mean, buying Top Shelf was like when dispensaries started opening, and that's when everybody got all picky with their weed and shit. But really, it used to be like, you know what I mean? The Reggie was daily smoking, and then on the weekend, you might go spend 20 on some chronic. We didn't have all these different names and some shit, you know what I mean? Like that chronic, I probably remember my first time smoking some chronic, that's about it. And I was like, that had me fucking stuck, but it doesn't have a name, you know, it was just chronic. I mostly splitterellos. I like fucking with the, what are those things? Jackpots. Jackpots, they're thinner. They got like a thinner layer than the splitterellos and the swishers. They're easy to split, you know what I mean? I don't fuck with papers. I don't really smoke out of bongs because people be having stuff on their lips and stuff. Yeah, that's too much.